She's in her 70s and her career is on fire. An age-defying, unexpected fashion icon and CoverGirl, venturing where few women her age have gone before. Just as her famous son does in his own right.
That's a quarter section of the Falcon 9.
With SpaceX and Tesla.
I really am a big believer in manufacturing.
So what's the secret of this breakthrough supermodel supermom? Her book tells all. And it wasn't easy. But when a woman makes a plan, she says, the sky's the limit.
Look at the heels that Christian Louboutin gave me these shoes for my 70th birthday party. He has no respect for my age. Look at that. I'm 71 years old and I've got to wear heels like this. It's crazy. But I love them.
They say at a certain age, you just stop caring. I wonder what age that is.
She is dashing and daring Maye Musk, the white-haired wonder, international supermodel, shattering all norms for a woman in her 70s, featured regularly on billboards, runways, major fashion magazines, and even a music video with Beyoncé.
I know if I'm on to you, you must be haunting me.
I'm now the supermodel. It's the highlight of my modeling career.
What Maye calls her prime, inspiring women everywhere on and off the runway with her age-defying career.
Maye Musk is an icon. I'm turning 66, and I am not going to let that number define me. And that's what Maye does.
She's not just an inspiring supermodel, she's also a super mom to famous son, SpaceX and Tesla founder Elon Musk, often on his arm at big events.
When he was 3, I said to people, I have a genius son, and they said, oh, you're such a mom.
She's just as proud of her filmmaker daughter Tosca and founder of Big Green, her son Kimball Musk, who brings gardens and fresh produce to inner cities.
They are all doing good work for others.
Altogether, they've given Maye 13 grandchildren who she spends time with when not modeling and jet-setting around the world.
They think every grandmother's on a billboard.
Her dazzling life defies every convention. But getting here, Maye will tell you, was far from easy. When married to her kid's father, she says, she was the victim of domestic abuse.
I didn't want my parents to know. You don't want to tell anyone you're in an abusive relationship.
When she finally escaped at 31, she became a single mom, struggled, she says, through poverty to raise 3 kids.
I was very frugal, and I still am, you know, that doesn't change.
Maye had to start over again and again, moving to 8 different cities across 2 continents until becoming a respected scientist and dietitian while always maintaining her modeling on the side.
I had many unhappy times, and then eventually there's a glimmer of light, and then you just aim for that light, and then eventually you can break yourself free from a bad situation.
Maye bears all in her memoir/advice book, A Woman Makes a Plan, encouraged, she says, by her kids to tell the truth about her rags to riches life. As well, she says, as the exotic adventures of her childhood that shaped who she's become. She was born in Canada, one of 5 kids who moved to South Africa, where she often traveled with her swashbuckling aviator dad and daring dame mom across the African desert in search of the lost tribe of the Kalahari.
My parents were really adventurous. My dad's motto was live dangerously, carefully. Here my mom went all the way up Africa, across Arabia and Asia, across the sea to Australia, and all the way back, single-engine plane, compass, and a map.
From her parents, she says she learned to be resilient and adventurous, to defy conventions, traits she no doubt passed on to her kids and writes about in hopes of inspiring other women,
If your whole family goes to Mars, will you be on that rocket with them?
If my whole family's there, I'm with them all. Yeah.
The amazing life and daring adventures of Maye Musk, age-defying supermodel, supermom. She is today's LA Story.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of LA Stories. We are near the Fashion District in downtown Los Angeles in the offices of Dress for Success, an amazing nonprofit that helps women look their best to achieve economic independence. So, of course, the fabulous supermodel, supermom, Instagram style icon, Miss Maye Musk, is with us because she is one of their grand ambassadors.
Yes, I am.
How great to see you.
Great to see you.
Your 7th decade. Maye, you are redefining fabulousness at every stage and age of life.
Yes, definitely. It gets better every decade.
Well, that defies convention, as you know. Women always feel like I'm here in my 40s, 50s, 60s, particularly in this town, in the fashion industry.
20s.
That's right.
Yes.
They don't feel that way, and yet you do.
But now why aren't they feeling that way? Who makes them feel that way? You don't say to a man, you're getting old, so you probably won't last in this job. Do you ever hear that? No. It's women who are scared of getting older, and then that needs to stop.
What did you think when you became, I mean, first of all, you're the, I don't even say oldest, because it really...
Pretty much is, though.
But it is, but it also promulgates a whole stereotype that doesn't exist with you. At 69, you become a cover girl. It's unheard of. What did you think of that?
I'm now the supermodel. I mean, it's about time. I mean, 68, I started getting this supermodel, and in 69, I was a cover girl. It was the highlight of my modeling career, and I just said, if you keep on going forever, eventually you get discovered, so don't give up.
Your career just shoots up at an age that this just doesn't happen to people.
Well, it's this whole hashtag diversity thing that's happening, where they decide that women my age are buying clothes and makeup. How obvious is that? We like to look good, and we like to see women our age looking good. So I just hit it at the right time. And then there's social media. I get a lot of work from that. And my first New York Fashion Week runway show was at 67 from a designer who saw me on Facebook.
And you are a prolific social media maven. I mean, your Instagram, you are on it. And it does drive business. You've gotten campaigns from it. Target, Macy's, the It Girl on Vanity Fair. Beyonce's videos?
Yes, I know. You don't dream of these things because then you're like a crazy lady. But things were happening. It was magnificent.
Your kids, what do they think about your high fashion career?
Well, my children have always known me as a model.
How about your grandkids? They go, is that you, Grandma?
They think every grandmother's on a billboard.
Of course they do. You are breaking the mold for a new generation of women in their 50s, 60s, 70s.
Yes.
That it's not over. In fact, it could just be beginning.
I think it's just beginning. Actually, somebody was interviewed and someone told me that 82 is the happiest age of most people. I've got 11 years to become even happier than I am now. You know, it's quite wonderful.
Are you living your best life right now?
I'm living my best life.
The Kalahari is known as the Great Thirst Land.
You had like this Indiana Jane life. When I read your book about your childhood, it was swashbuckling, traveling in a plane, traveling across Africa.
And my older brother, older sister, and younger brother.
Family of 5.
5 kids. I mean, my parents were really adventurous. My dad's motto was live dangerously, carefully. And the Camel Patrol would say goodbye to me on the one little town, tiny little town in Botswana. It was called Bechuanaland. And then the town on the other side, they send a telegram that if we're not there in 3 weeks, the Camel Patrol will follow our tracks to find us. That's what we did. We went across the desert looking for the lost city of the Kalahari.
No GPS?
There's no GPS, there's no radio.
Wow.
And so they would then fly low over towns to see if they can see that it is actually the town that's on their map, and many towns were not in their map. Sometimes they would land on a rugby field or a soccer field or on a street or on a runway if there was one.
I mean, that's just the stuff that you read about, like, you know, in books and novels. You actually lived that childhood. And it wasn't glamorous, by the way.
No, we were 3 weeks without a shower, of course, but then sand isn't dirty, you know, there's not like there's dust or anything. Anyway, as kids, you're happy not to bath, you know.
I read in your book that you also went out and knew how to shoot game to eat.
Yes, and then we would have to skin it, us kids, and all that. That's not easy. It made us cry.
I bet.
But then the leftovers, we didn't want to waste it, so we gave it to whichever tribe we came across. And they were so happy that we brought a lot of meat because they'd never seen a car before. They couldn't believe we were wearing clothes, you know, and we didn't speak the same language, but they were always amazed by us.
And there was like lions in your camp. Your father had to shoot.
They had to shoot in the air to try and scare them, but they didn't seem to be scared. And someone else told me lions don't eat people. Well, they don't eat us, but the hyenas do.
You were scared of the hyenas.
The hyenas are not very nice, and you'd shine a torch, a flashlight, you call it a flashlight, around, and you'll just see these yellow eyes all around. And then we have to zip up our sleeping bag, but sometimes we would have to just all pile into the truck.
For over a century in Western circles, rumors have abounded as to the existence of a massive city, secured by the sands of the Kalahari.
Did your father ever find the lost city?
No, he didn't.
Was the pursuit as good as finding it?
He just loved the adventure.
Right.
He was just a Superman.
Indiana Jones.
Yes, he was.
I mean, that must have influenced you tremendously.
My dad was a genius. He really was, and so was my mom.
When you think back on it now, especially, you know, when you're here in America, people don't raise the kids the way you were raised. I mean, I was astounded to read that at 4 years old, you're walking by yourself to school.
By ourselves, my twin sister and I holding hands. My 7-year-old sister would take us, because her school was in a large block. Her school was the beginning and ours was at the end. And so she helped us cross the roads. And then we just held hands and we walked. I mean, can you imagine 4-year-olds walking in the street?
No.
You'd be arrested as a parent.
But what did that infuse in you? Because I seem to then derive from the rest of your life story this sense of self-reliance,
Yes.
independence.
Yes, you didn't give it a thought. We were just sent off and we did it. And we chose whatever sports we wanted to do. We chose whatever studies we wanted to do. So then with my children, they had to be responsible for themselves.
From your Instagram and your social media followings, I'm sure there are people that say, how did she raise those kinds of kids? How, I want to know her secret, right?
Yes, my secrets.
Elon.
Yes.
Did he remind you of your father?
Well, I would say since then he's reminded me of my father, because he's adventurous, and my father repaired his own cars and his own planes. All right, so there's the Tesla
and the lost city
SpaceX.
of Kalahari.
There you go. Exactly.
Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. For more stories in your communities, click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV for the latest information, balanced coverage, weather updates every 10 minutes, and more. We'll see you then.